last time on the discussion video.
So I'm thinking that comet, this version of Finn, this Finn that's on Earth now, sole purpose is to bring balance back. And even though the Lich is inside of, what's the baby man name?
Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea. The Lich is technically Sweet Pea, and I think until there's
if you pay attention,
real balance,
Sweet Pea has the same horns as the Lich.
It does. No, they physically show the Lich turning into Sweet Pea.
Really?
Yeah, the episode where when Finn's dad first went into space, when he first lost his arm, and he was fighting those interdimensional dudes that had him in space.
That's another thing. We don't got to talk about Finn's dad. Finn's dad is a douche.
He's a jerk, but like, I respect him after watching the Islands miniseries and seeing the person that he was and everything. Like, inherently, he wasn't bad. He was always a con artist. He was always a bad person. But Finn's mom turned him good for a while, till his past caught up with him and he had to run.
But back to that later.
Yeah, right now we're still talking about the comets. And, well, right now we're talking about the Lich turning into Sweet Pea. They showed Finn fighting the Lich, and I forget what happens, but it was like some kind of cosmic bang, and the Lich turned into Sweet Pea. Because they were like, well, what is it? It doesn't look evil. It looks like a baby in tree trunks, and the pig was like, well, we'll take it if it's a baby. And that's how Sweet Pea became living with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I brought up Sweet Pea, we got to talk about the Element special. Now, this is extreme spoilers if you haven't watched the new Adventure Time special.
Extreme spoilers for the end of season 8.
Well, mostly the end, because there's only 3 episodes left.
2 or 3 episodes left.
Yeah, so basically in the Element special, what's her name?
Saint Pym.
Saint Pym. That's her first name is Patience.
Yeah.
Patience Saint Pym, who was theoretically the ice elemental in our timeline.
Yeah,
like
in the modern era.
In modern era, she was the ice elemental.
Right before the Mushroom War.
Yeah, and the ice elemental of modern era, fire, slime, all of them used to get together and drink coffee. And while they were together, they saw a vision that another change was coming to the earth in the form of the Lich this time. And they were like, yeah, we're about to die, but you know, as elementals, we're going to be reborn. But she was like, I don't want to die though. So she sailed into the middle of the ocean, created an ice prison, froze herself until one day she should be reawakened. And she did. She was reawakened in their time. The first thing she asked Finn, what year is this? And the thing that was interesting to me was Finn said, nobody keeps track of time like that anymore. So like, no one keeps track of years as in what time period is this. They will remember their birthday like, I was born on this day. I know what day this is, but they don't keep track of the year that it is. And I think that's kind of interesting. When you get
Princess Bubblegum knows.
Well, Princess Bubblegum. Well, we can't talk about that yet. We gotta keep going. So, the new elementals are Princess Bubblegum, who has control over candy, Slime Princess, control over slime, Flame Princess, control over fire, and Saint Pym, control over ice. And she was like,
if you count Flame King,
Flame King had.
Nah.
It's like he had. Well, everybody in the Fire Kingdom has type of firepower,
yeah.
But Flame Princess is special because she's supposedly the elemental. Even though, like, out of everybody, we didn't really see her elemental power. Like, we saw Slime Princess get the ability to shoot the slime, and Princess Bubblegum can create candy and junk, but like, I guess Flame Princesses would be creating fire, but she already does that, so like, she might have been the first awakened out of all of them.
Maybe.
So, basically, she's like, yo, you might not remember it, but in the past life, we were friends, so we could be friends now. And they were like, nah, you crazy. So, she has the idea of, I'm going to create this type of mind control magic to bring out their inner selves, their inner past lives. And the magic doesn't go as well. Instead of bringing out their inner past lives, it brings out their inner selves. Now, Slime Princess's inner self was the need to be loved by many people. That's why it was always like, you won, you get to be a part of Slime Princess. You lost, you still get to be a part of Slime Princess.
Absorbed.
Yeah, she wants to be she kind of likes to be center of attention, have everyone admire her. That was her inner self. Flame Princess's inner self is her rage that she always has to control. That was the rage that she didn't like from her father, all the other junk. Who was the other princess? Oh yeah, Satan's Pym's inner self. I'm talking about Pym because I want Bubblegum for last, but Pym's inner self was her level of depression. Like, you gotta kind of think of it.
She wanted, like...
She wanted
to be around all her friends, everything kind of like that. Kind of.
Yeah, but at the same...
When she changed everything, she ended up just being alone.
She did. And then at the same time, it was like, even in her current timeline, which would be our present, they had to keep all their powers and everything secret. Because magic and everything isn't in our present time. And like, the knowledge that there's 4 people on this earth that has control of this thing would mix everything up. So they had to keep this secret. Like, even in the episode, she was like, I'm not hiding anymore. Like, that has to be a lot. You want to feel special. You want to feel loved by everybody, but you're not allowed to. So her inner self was all that depression she was holding in. Then Gumball's inner self, hers is the scariest because I called her Gumball. Princess Bubblegum. It took me because it's Gumball. Bonnibel. Princess Gum... I was about to say Gumball again. Bubblegum.
Bonnie. You call her Bonnie?
Bonnie, inner self, is controlling and manipulative. And we see that through the entire series. Like, she watches everyone. She knows everything. She has cameras in everyone's house. She knows when Finn and Jake are sleeping. She knows when they're awake. She tries to experiment on Flame Princess. They're so
using Finn.
It's so terrifying how much control she has. But she changes over the course. It takes a while, but we see her changing. Like, she shut down her huge security room, and she was like, "Okay, I'm not using that no more." She was telling Marceline, "I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to not be as controlling. I'm trying to not do that." Because, like, so in the comic books, Marceline and Princess Bubblegum were a couple. And I'm supposing they broke up because of these reasons of how crazy and controlling she is. But, like, bringing that inner part of herself, she started turning everyone into candy. And it was like, so, like, that's a kind of an argument to say that, like, well, they all turned everyone into different versions of their element. But Bubblegum's was special. Because at the very end, she started using her power to cross the borders. As you could see, their Earth was divided into 4 perfect sections. Everybody had the same amount. But Bubblegum started crossing, turning ice people to candy, fire people to candy. And I was like, yo, if y'all don't stop her, she will take over the world. And like, the best part, she took over the world with like a song playing, and the song was kind of calming and nice. Like, I would download it if somebody knows the link to it.
I wouldn't.
That's a chill song.
I would not.
How did the song go?
I don't know, and I don't want to think about it.
I'm trying to think about it because it was something like,
I don't want to think about
You're
it.
My Sweet or something. It sounded like a love song because it was like, you're my sweet, my precious sweet, something, something melody. Yeah, I was like, okay, I could chill with, but then I was like, oh, I can't chill with this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
next thing you know, your heart is a piece of candy.
Exactly, and it's like, that's the most terrifying thing to think of, because like, theoretically, she's almost the most powerful person in that world. That if her awakened form has the ability to just take over everything. But, like, back to the most interesting thing is Lumpy Space Princess, the character who she annoyed me throughout this entire series.
Lumpy Space Princess is my favorite character. I can only tolerate her for so long.
She's annoying because, like, I've known girls like her in high school and they were always annoying to me. And it was just like the fact that she connects everything, because like, she is an elemental herself of basically lumps, and it's like, if you remember from like, was it season 1 when they explained Lumpy Space is a different like dimension?
It might have been.
Because like, Lumpy Space is basically, you have to go through a portal to get there. You can't just go somewhere on the world. And it's like, lumps are an embodiment of everything, every element, every blah 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 blah, and that's why they're lumps, because they're all clustered together. So Lumpy Space Princess, using her power of basically balance, restored everything. And when I say restored everything, here's where the spoiler comes in. Everything that was considered unbalanced or not 100% became 100%. The baby lich that we were talking about that had his horn broken, his horn
healed.
It healed and it popped. And when it made the pop sound, he had a blank stare for a minute and he said, "Excuse me." And like, the reason why it freaked me out, because like, he can use his lich powers. Even before that horn thing, but only when he's angry or sad. Because there was an episode where King of Ooh was messing with him, and it was like, he blanked out, used his lich powers, and came back. And I was like, so does that horn pop mean that the lich is in control again? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I'm going like, I think the lich has to die in order for like an actual piece or something. Because like, it's so interesting. Like, you know the lich is in there. You know he's in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing that happened was it turned Jake back into the demon that he was supposed to be.
Full demon.
Full demon. So for people that don't know or don't remember, Jake's parents were demon hunters. Well, they were basically adventurers. They were what Finn and Jake are today, but like they almost specialized in demon hunting. And one of the demons had possessed Jake's dad. And at the same time, his mom was giving birth to his brother Jermaine. Jermaine. His dad somewhat gave birth to him. And when he gave birth, like, the baby came and it danced for a minute, then fell into the mud puddle. Because that's why Jake believes his parents told him, you got your powers from a magic mud puddle? Mm-hmm. Well, that's not it. Jake is actually half demon, half dog. But since Lumpy Space Lumps removed all the world's irregularities, it took away the half dog part. So he came to Finn full demon out. And it was like, Jake doesn't even realize it right now.
If you guys haven't seen it, you should probably watch that episode. It's the last episode in the Skyhooks series. Too. And Jake actually looks pretty cool.
Well, that's exactly how the demon looked. And it's like, Jake didn't look into a mirror since he got there, because everybody was like, did you get a haircut? You look so different. And Jake was like, what are you talking about? I look different. I don't feel different. And it's like, you blue now. You no longer yellow.
He looks pretty cool.
He does. And I want to see where the show is going to go with this, because I know, like, if you check the Wikipedia page, one episode of season 9 is going to be about Marceline and her dad. So I'm just curious, are they going to need Marceline's dad to do something with Jake? Are they going to try to get his half dog appearance back, or are they just going to roll with Demon Jake now? Because theoretically, he's the same person and he should have the same powers. He just is a demon. He doesn't look like a dog anymore. Oh, what are his kids going to think about him now? And his girlfriend. Did they get married?
I'm not sure. Last I saw a lady. She was engulfed in fire.
Yeah, well, she's back to normal now, but still, like, they didn't get married. So what is his girlfriend gonna think about him? What's his kids gonna think about him? And his kids are technically 1/3. What happened to his kids? Because his kids.
They didn't show any of them.
Yeah, they didn't. And like, their kids are supposed to be 1/3. Demon, technically, if he's half demon.
We just heard a noise in the hallway.
The ghosts of the past. But, like, I guess the only kid that I don't think would be affected would be TV. Because if you remember, TV is in Rainicorn dimension or whatever. Mm-hmm. But all the rest of them, I want to know what they look like or if they retain their form. Oh, Adventure Time is an amazing show. They don't even get us started on Ice King and Betty.
That's another thing. What is Betty gonna do with that Enchiridion?
Wait, does she still have it?
She still has it.
Oh god. And she still has the jewels from their crowns.
Yeah, she does.
I also want to know the Mushroom War, the birth of the Lich. Like, if the Lich didn't have a physical form, the Mushroom War gave him a physical form. What does that have to do with Prismo? Is that his name? Prismo and Cosmic Owl and whoever Cosmic Owl works for.
Still don't know who Cosmic Owl works for.
Yeah, they never said it. He just said my boss won't be happy with that. And it's like, Cosmic Owl is a being that has the ability to go through dreams. And if he shows up in your dream and you see him in your dream, that dream is going to come true whether you like it or not. And we know this because that was one of the things that broke up Finn and Flame Princess. He saw a dream with Cosmic Owl and Ice King and Flame Princess were fighting, and Finn thought it looked so amazing, their fight, that he forced it to happen. Then when evil Gunther, because Gunther's an evil asshole, he was messing with Cosmic Owl.
Gunther is a savage.
Lord of Lord is something else. That's all I can say. Anyway, he caused Cosmic Owl to be in this dream of Princess Bubblegum where she basically dies. And Cosmic Owl was freaking out about it because he was like, oh no, I wasn't supposed to be in this dream. Now that I'm here, this is going to happen. So Princess Bubblegum is going to die. And that is hugely significant because the three oldest people in that show is Marceline, Ice King, and Princess Bubblegum.
Yep.
They're the oldest. Princess Bubblegum was like around since the end of the Mushroom War. Same with Marceline and Ice King.
Marcy, Simon, and Bonnabelle.
They're the oldest old people. And they about to be gone.
Simon went crazy when he put on the crown.
Yeah.
Marceline just became the vampire queen, and Bubblegum grew from the mother gum.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about Marceline was like she was never really originally a vampire. Nope. She was just a demon, half demon. Because her mom was human. A lot of these people are half. Like, they're... Should that affect Marceline? No.
I don't think it will.
It shouldn't.
I mean, because she's still half demon.
Yeah.
Because if you guys didn't see Stake series, you could watch the Stake series. Just it explains how she became a vampire and got all her powers.
Because she was just... Her demon power is inherently cool, though. Like, she can suck souls and take that soul's power.
Yep.
So that's inherently awesome. And I also find it weird how Vampire King just becomes a cow lion thing. Yeah.
I wonder if Marceline used her soul sucking powers, could she take all the elemental souls and become the one true elemental?
Possibly.
That's a theory for another day.
If it inherently works how it did with the vampires, she could.
That's a theory for another day.
Like, that's awesome to think about. You know what else I just thought about? Like, thinking about elementals. Where is Patience Pym going to go to now? Because if you think about it...
If you watched it, she refroze herself again.
Yeah, because she said, Mr. Fox, push me somewhere safe where I can rest again. And, like, they didn't show if Lumpy's Space Princess's power was strong enough to break through that.
I don't think it will be, since even the Catalyst comic couldn't...
Yeah, so...
kill her.
So once again, she's going to go into a dormant state for who knows how long in the Ice King's basement again. That is so weird. Like,
I think that's all we got on Adventure Time for now.
That's a lot to think about. I'm still thinking about other stuff though, because that's her going on. Princess Bubblegum is bound to die. What significance does the Lich and everything have to do with Cosmic Owl and Prismo? Because, like, they're kind of like gods who say they have always existed, but as soon as what's her name, Betty, started talking about going back in time and stopping that from happening, they all freaked out and got super concerned. Like, from what I've learned from Doctor Who, and a lot of people say that it's kind of BS, but there's fixed points in time that you can't change, like certain deaths certain births, things like that you can't change, because even though, like, say you want to stop Hitler from being born, that's bad because Hitler's an evil jerk. But even though stopping him from being born will stop all the evil stuff, supposedly Hitler killed people worse than him. Like, that creates a timeline where supposedly there was a person that would become worse than Hitler. Or supposedly somebody who becomes a hero now was inspired by how evil Hitler was and how he needed to rise up against him.
Or a timeline where nobody died and everything around the world was changed significantly.
Yeah. Like, literally, there's fixed points in times, and that's the most important thing.
If that's interesting, if that would never happen, technically we probably would never drop a bomb in Japan.
There wouldn't be no radiation junk going on everywhere. Yeah, because there's a lot of possibilities, and that's what I'm trying to think. Like, I think the Lich had to happen, because if you think about it, the Lich happens in multiple different timelines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like,
yeah.
the Lich stopping probably is something really bad. Man, Adventure Time is a good series. It's a really good series. You should watch it if you haven't already.
So, what we look forward to now, Adventure Time, if you all caught up, you got the last, 3 episodes?
There's
season
3
8.
episodes of season 8 left.
And
it was
then,
called, I'm trying to remember, I think the very last episode of season 8 is a Fiona and Cake episode. That's all I remember.
The next one is called Abstract.
Yeah, the very next episode that we don't know when it's coming out, no release date or anything, called Abstract. And from what that sounds, it sounds like it's going to be about Jake. Because, like, one of the coolest thing about Elements, Jake confessed to Finn, like, I know I always act cool, but you have no idea how stressed and worried I am.
I'm supposed to be the big brother.
Yeah, he said that I was supposed to be the big brother, the calm-headed one. It's like, Jake is always so calm. I never took the time to think. He must be freaking out.
Yeah, so what you got to look forward to now in Adventure Time?
What's happening
Those
next?
last couple episodes, season 9, you might see the return of the Lich.
I'm thinking we will.
I'm thinking that's gonna be the major point. Season 9, just the return of the Lich.
That and Princess Bubblegum dying.
Yeah, if that does come true.
Like, it has to come true. The Cosmic Owl was in it. The only thing that I don't know is if that's going to happen before or after. And another thing that, what minutes are we at with this video? Yeah, I want to bring this up. You know the Gray Balls guy? What was all those episodes, Gray Balls, that were weird and always had some type of theme?
Yep.
They showed one episode of him running through Earth collecting, and it's like, so the Gray Balls are kind of like videotapes or DVDs and stuff. The Earth he was in, like, all the way fucked up. And it was like, there were a new version of the Gumball Guardians, and it's like, inside the Gumball Guardians were like Gumball homes where other candy people were living in junk. And I was like, so something bad does happen to the Earth again, and whatever happens, that's the future that the Gray Ball guy lives in, and all he has on Earth is these tapes. So, like, I want to see how much is that going to be. Is that like a distant future, or is that the ending season 9?
We'll see. One more season left, reportedly so far. I think the Lich is going to be the major plot point.
I think so. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, there
You
are
guys didn't know what the Lich was after the Enchiridion, right?
Yeah,
Finn had an Enchiridion.
and he destroyed it.
Yes, but he took one from the
He
alternate
stole
universe.
one from the alternate universe.
And that's the one that Betty has now.
Yeah, and that's another interesting thing. Like, what's Magic Man, new King of Mars? Magic Man is the new King of Mars. Her time travel spell messed up and just teleported her to Mars. And when she got there, he looked at her and said, "Oh, it looks like he messed up." And it's like, it's interesting because, like, she was saying all forms of magic come from, like, depression or insanity. And I was like, so since Magic Man is one of the only sane magicians, can he see the insanity and the sanity of it? Like, can he accurately help her?
Don't know.
Oh, there's too much going on. There's too much going on. I want to get into the Adventure Time comic books. And from what I know about the comic books, they're both canon and not canon. Like, I think some of the writers of the comics have said this is a separate universe. Because there's 100 things that are completely the same, but then like 50 things that are different. Like, for starters, in the comic book series, Finn and Flame Princess never had that whole breakup fight thing. That episode never happened. And Princess Bubblegum and Marceline are a couple together. There's so much interesting stuff with that series.
So we figure out what's going on next in season 9.
We do. We'll figure out what's happening in season 9. This has been a good Chilling with the Order. We talked a lot about Adventure Time. We talked about what we think will happen in the future. Like I said, you can catch him on Twitch.
Yeah, if you guys want, you guys can follow me over at twitch.tv/SwordDreams23. Channel will be right
But where my finger
There.
is. Yeah.
somewhere.
Wiggly, wiggly, wiggly.
And on Twitter at SwordDreams23 too.
And that's another screenshot right there. As always, it's been me, King ETL, with your quality video insurance whatever. I have no idea when this video is coming out. But when it does, I hope you have a good day. Stay weird, stay wild, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Signing out.